students, I welcome you all to this platform where we are going to discuss part number 2 of the lecture models. So students, it is in the last unit of this chapter we discussed about 6 models, right? And these 6 models were can, could, may, might, will and shall. And it is in this part number 2 of the chapter models that we are going to discuss the remaining ones, and these remaining ones are should, would, then there is need, dare, ought to, used to, have to, and must. So students, let us move on to the explanation of should first. Should is used to express what? Advice or duty. For example, you should see a doctor. See here means meet. So you should see a doctor. Maybe I just want to say that you are not feeling well and that is why you should go to a doctor. So this is a piece of advice that I am giving to someone, right? And we should help the needy. It is what? This should here shows what? It shows duty. This is the duty of every person. This is the duty of every citizen that he or she should help the needy, those people who are in need. So in the first use of should, we come to know that it is used to express advice and duty. The second use of should is that it shows, since we know that should is the past form of shall. It is the past form of shall. So, and we read in the last lecture that shall is also used to express simple future tense. So whenever an incident is expressed, whenever incident especially in the past tense is used to express future time, so we use should in place of shall. For example, I said that I should go to Delhi. So students, in this sentence I said that I should go to Delhi means I said something in the past, and I said something for future, that there is something that I will do in future. So if it had referred to present tense, I would have used what? Shall here. But since it is referring to past tense, so I'm going to use should here. Means in place of shall I'm going to use should, because the principal verb is in past tense. So this is the second use of should, and there is the third use. The third use says that should is used to express fear, and it is used in this way with the word lest. For example, run fast lest you should miss the bus. Maybe the person is about to take a bus, and he knows that he's already late, and that is why somebody is saying to him that run fast lest you should miss the bus. So here certain fear is expressed by the speaker, that if the person does not run fast, it is possible that he might miss the bus. So it lest here just shows fear, and we use should in such a sentence. So there are some other examples. For example, take an umbrella with you lest it should rain. So there is a fear that it might rain, so the person should already be equipped with an umbrella, right? So this is we here come to the generalization. We here come to the rule that whenever there is use of last in a sentence, and here and in that sentence we are supposed to use a modal auxiliary verb. So we always choose what? Should. So students, these are the three uses of should. Yes, one more use that I have just remembered is use number 4 is for to show a probable condition. Probable condition means a condition that is likely to happen, right? There are two types of conditions, probable and improbable. Improbable condition is expressed by the use of would, but here with the use of should, by the use of should we express probable condition. For example, should you go home, bring my bat. Here the speaker wants to say, if you just happen to go my home, just bring my bat. Means we can also write this sentence like, if you should go home, bring my bat. So this is called probable condition. Means this situation can be real. It's not unreal. This is real. Means that person may go to his friend's house and he can also bring his bat. So this is called probable condition. Then let me just try to explain more precisely. Here, if we say if he went his home, he would bring his bat. Means that person did not go his home, and that is why he could not bring the bat. So this is called unreal condition. Means it did not actually happen. But this is a probable condition. For probable condition we use should. Now we have discussed the use of should. Now let us move on to the use of would. Would in the first place is used to express preference. For example, I would like to take tea. Here I'm just giving preference to tea rather than some other beverage like cold drink, soft drink, anything else, but I am just giving preference to taking tea only. So preference is expressed, or preference is shown with the help of would, especially with the phrase like to. So whenever it is something that we come down to form an opinion, whenever there is the use of like to in a sentence, we always use would. Because in this type of sentence, would shows what? It shows preference. And the second use of preference is, I would rather sit here than go out. So here there are two choices in front of the speaker, either sit here or go out. So the person just chooses what? Sitting here over going out. So here also, here we have the word rather. So in these two uses of would, especially when we are going to express, or this use is going to express preference, in the first case we have like to, in the second case we have rather. So with the words like to and rather, would is used to express what? Preference. So whenever there is the word rather or like to in any sentence, we are just prompted to use what? Would. So here the speaker wants to say that he would rather sit here than go out. Means he chooses sitting over going out. The other example of this use is, I would rather die than beg. This is the most commonly used sentence. I would rather die than beg. Means the person would like to die instead of asking for alms, instead of begging. So this is the first use of would. The second use of would is, again, would is the past form of will. So it is also used uh, in a sentence where the principal verb is in past tense, and the second sentence shows a situation in which the speaker is talking about future tense. For example, he said that he said that he dash play cricket tomorrow. So tomorrow means it is something that he will do tomorrow, so we should use here will, but we will not use will, we will use would. Why? Because the principal verb is in past tense. Since it is in past tense, so we are supposed to use would in place of will, right? The similar use we have just seen in the case of should, right? So this is the second use of would, and then there is the third use. It is used to express what? Past habit. Past habit, past habit is such an activity that we used to do in the past and now we have just stopped doing it. This is called the past habit. For example, uh, we would go for a walk daily. We would go for a walk daily. So here the speaker wants to say that going for a walk daily was an activity that he used to do on daily basis, right? So but he is not in touch with going for a walk every day, so he has just stopped going for a walk, but it was something that he used to do in the past. So it is an activity of the past, hence we have used would. So would is also used to express past habit, right? So here we have read three uh, cases of would, and here the fourth use of would is for condition. For example, if we were there, we would help him. So here the speaker wants to say if we were there, we would help him, but unfortunately the speaker was not there. The speaker was not there, and that is why he could not help him. So this is the improbable condition, right? So the speaker was not there, that is why he could not help him. This is called condition, and there is a rule: if with the clause that begins with if, there is the second form of the verb, we always use would or should in the second clause, right? So this is also a rule we have, and this rule can further on be extended up to if the sentence begins with if and there is the past perfect tense in the first clause. So in second clause we use past form of would or should, and this will be framed as would, should plus have V3. Means the same sentence can be used this way: if we had been there, we would have helped him. This is this use of would, right? So students, for condition we use would. Then there is the last use of would, and this last use expresses what? Wish. But make sure this wish is used in a specific case, and this is specific case is would that. Means here the sentence begins with would. Would that I were a bird. This is unreal. This is the wish. This is wish. So here the speaker wants to say would that I were a bird. Means he can never be a bird. It is just his wish. He is just imagining something. So make sure whenever the sentence begins with would that, dash like this, dash that, right? So in this case we always use what? Would. So this is called uh, expressing wish. So students, here we have used the here we have learned to use word in various cases, especially how word expresses various meanings. So students, let us now move on to the use of must, and this is the use number 9. Must. So students, must is used to express, in the first place, obligation. Obligation here means something that is very necessary to do. For example, you must work hard to pass the examination. You must work hard to pass the examination. So what is the prerequisite to pass the examination? Work hard. So here if we use must, it simply shows what obligation. So the person is obliged to work hard if he wants to pass the examination. The second use of must is used to show there is obligation and assumption. Yes. So must is also used to express assumption. What is assumption? Assumption means we are just making a speculation. We are not sure about something, right? For example, he must be 40 years old. Means we are not sure about his actual date, actual age, right? And that is why we just are making a speculation. So we can say he must be 40 years old, or it must be a boy. Means somebody has done something wrong and we are not sure whether the person is a boy or a girl. So it is just an assumption that we are making that the person must be a boy. So here for assumption we use must be, right? And then there is the third use of must, that is it is used to express prohibition. Prohibition means something that is strictly denied to do, and here we use must not for prohibition. For example, you must not smoke here. You must not smoke here. Or smoking is prohibited here. This is a very common sentence that we actually see written somewhere, especially on the walls or wallpapers, right? So you must not smoke here, or you must not break the rules of the road, and you must not park your vehicle on the road. So these are some of the warnings, some of the uh, instructions given to people, and these are the prohibitions, right? You are prohibited to do these things. So whenever there is prohibition expressed in a sentence, we use what? Must not. So here we have discussed the use of must. Now let us move on to the next use. Use number 10. This is in use number 10 we discuss need. Need shows what? Students, need shows necessity. Necessity. So necessity means need of something, right? And let me tell you, the use of need is especially done in negative sentence and interrogative sentence. For example, though we use it in affirmative as well, you need go. You need go now. Means it is required that you should go now. You need go now. Similarly, you need not go anywhere. You need not go anywhere. The things you want, you will be provided with them here. So you need not go anywhere. Then need you see him tonight? So are you supposed to meet him tonight? Are you required to meet him tonight? So is there a need that you should meet him tonight? So these are the three sentences. This is an affirmative, this is a negative, this is an interrogative. We use need mostly in negative sentence, right? So though we can use need in these three formats, but it is still it is most commonly used in this format number 2, that is negative sentence, right? So students, one more thing that we should know about need is that need is also a main verb. Need is also a main verb, and when it functions as a main verb, we use its second and third form that are needed, right? Needed. So when we use need as a main verb, we always use infinitive form of verb with it. For example, I say you need go now. I will say you need to go now. When I say you need to go now, this does not remain a modal auxiliary verb here. This becomes main verb, right? Students, one more thing. Whenever we want to express past tense using need, it will not be used as a modal. It will be used as a main verb. For example, if we want to say you need to go now, we will say you needed to go now. So if we want to use need and dare, there is second modal, that is dare. When we want to use need and dare in past tense, so we use them as main verbs, not as modal auxiliary verbs. So need and dare both can be used as main verbs as well, right? And that is why we call them as semi-modals, right? So students, now let us move on to the use of dare. Dare is used to express, this is 11, dare is used to express courage. The most commonly used sentence that we hear with the use of dare is how dare you, right? How dare you touch my pen, how dare you touch this, how dare you say this, how dare you speak this, how dare you do this, right? So then there is he dare not play with him, means he does not he doesn't have courage to play with him, so he dare not play with him. And as I told you in the use of need, that this dare can also be used as a main verb. So when we use it as a main verb, the forms we have dare, durst and durst. So dare, dust means dust, or we have dared as well. So dust and dared, we have two forms for the past and past participle, right? Dared. So we can say he did not dare to play with him. If we want to use it in past tense, we will say what? He did not dare to play with him. We will not say he dared not play with him, is absolutely wrong. We will say what? If we want to convert this into negative, especially using dare as a main verb, we will say what? He did not dare to play with him. So students, here we have also understood now that need and dare can be used as main verbs, and when they are used as main verbs, these are followed by infinitive form of verb 2 plus first form of the verb. So students, we have now understood the use of dare. Dare is used to express courage. And now let us move on to the use of ought to and used to. Very small use is there for ought to and used to. Ought to shows moral obligation or advice or duty. Here, when we use ought to means we can also replace the use of ought to with should. But ought to shows moral duty, means something that comes out from within, right? Means there is no external force which is going to compel us to do something. It is something that originates in our mind, originates in our heart, that we should do it, right? An this is an impulse that originates from within our heart, right? So for example, we ought to respect our parents. This is something, this is a moral duty. It is a moral duty that we should respect our parents. So we can also say we should respect our parents. Both are correct. So we can interchangeably use ought to and should. But still there is a slight difference, and I have told you the difference. Difference is that in moral duty, it is something that comes out from within our mind, right? Means it is not a compulsion. It is not something that somebody is going to force you to do that. It is something that you want to do it on your own. This is quite this is not, I mean, mandatory, right? This is quite voluntary, which you do on your own. Then there is use of used to, right? Used to can interchangeably be used with would. It shows what? Past habit. I have already explained to you what past habit is. Something that we used to do earlier, but now we have stopped doing this. Means this is not a part of our habit. So let me just give you an example. He used to live in that city. Means he is no longer a part of that city as a resident. He has left living there now. So he used to live in that city. This is the habit, past habit. The person used to do that. Now we have the last use. The last use number 14. Has to, have to, has to and had to. Has to and have to are used in present tense, and had to is used in past, and they are used to express what? Compulsion. Compulsion here means a person does not want to do something, but it is something that he is forced to do. Means for example, I have to wake up early in the morning. Means the speaker does not like to wake up early in the morning. It is something, it is because of a compulsion, or it is his compulsion. So it is his compulsion that he has to wake up early in the morning. Means there is some external force which is compelling him to do this, but willingly he does not want to do this. For example, I am just enjoying giving this lecture to you, and somebody calls me and just I have to call up this class. So if I say I have to call up this class, that simply means I'm not doing this willingly. There is some external force which is preventing me from doing this, right? Stopping me from doing this. So this is called compulsion. So Whenever there is compulsion, we use has to, have to, and had to. Had to is used in past tense. I have to wake up early in the morning. I can also say I had to wake up early in the morning when I was in Delhi, right? When I was in Delhi, I did not like to wake up early in the morning, but uh, it was my helplessness that I had to wake up, right? So students, with this we have just learned how we use different models to express different meanings. And now, in order to understand them better, I'm just going to write an exercise on the board, and we will try to find out the answers of that exercise. And I hope this exercise will help you learn or understand the models better. So students, here I'm back with an exercise on the board. You can see there is an exercise written on the board, and in this question we need to find the omit word. Find the omitted word. Students, this is just an exercise, and in each line there is a word missing. So we need to just find the missing word, and this missing word is a modal auxiliary word. And students, this passage is actually taken from Khushwant Singh's chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. It is in class 11 book. Students, here we have before word and after. Means for example, suppose it was decided that I go abroad for. So here we come to know in the first sentence that I dash go, means here this is the main verb and this is the subject, and there is the omission of a model. Now we need to find out what sense does the sentence convey, and which model is the most appropriately used here, right, or should be used here. So for example, here the before word is I and after word is go, and here the model word that we need to use is it was decided that I dash go abroad. It was decided. So it was decided that I means it shows a future action. It shows an activity in the future tense. So with I we use shall, but we will not use here shall. We will use here should. Why? Because the principal verb is in the past tense. So I should would be the right answer, and we'll write this answer here. So it was decided that I should go abroad for further studies. Khushwant Singh here said that it was decided that he would go for higher studies for abroad. So here I knew my grandmother would be upset. I knew my grandmother. Here this is the subject, this is the verb, but there is omission of model. So I knew my grandmother would be. Again, it shows a future event, but this time the subject is third person. So with third person we use will, and will be converted into would. So further studies, I knew my grandmother would be upset. So here the before word is grandmother, after word is be, and the actual model that we are supposed to use is would. Now option number C. I be away for 5 long years, and at her age 1 never tell. In the first sentence we come to know that this is subject, this is verb, and there is the omission of a model. So I be away for 5 long years. Here Khushwant Singh expresses his compulsion. He actually did not want to go, leaving his grandmother behind, right? But he had to go. Unwillingly he had to go. So it is here we come to know that compulsion is shown in the sentence. So here had to will be the right answer. I had to be away for 5 long years. So here the before word is I, after word is be, and actual model that is to be used is had to. So I had to be away for 5 long years, and at her age 1 never tell. So 1 is the subject, tell is the verb, and here we should use, this is the adverb of time, so we should use here a model word. And now just make up your mind to find out the right answer. At her age 1 could never tell. Could will be the right answer. means ability. So the age at which grandmother was, it was not possible for anyone to tell. It was not one's ability to tell. It was not in one's power to tell. So here the ability or power is shown in the past tense, so we'll use could. So at her age, one could never tell. So before word is one, and middle word is could, and afterward is never. This is how we have to fill in the blanks given in front of the questions. But my grandmother could. Here, my grandmother could. This is where there is an omission of modal, because this sentence is complete. As she kissed my forehead, but in this sentence there is the blank, so it simply means in this line there is one word omitted, and this word is omitted from this place, means before full stop. So grandmother could. So before word is grandmother, middle word is could, and after word is as, right? And here we can say that we can see that could is used here. So here could will be used. Now, as she kissed my forehead, I felt it be our last meeting. Again, it is the subject, be is the verb, there is the omission of modal. Which modal will we fill here? I felt it would be our last meeting. So he felt that it would be his last meeting, means it shows future tense, and for future with it we use will, but here since the principal verb is in past tense, so we'll use what? In place of will, we are supposed to use would. So I felt it would be our last meeting. So here it will be the before word, and would will be the middle word, and be will be the after word. Last meeting, I prayed to God that I be able to see her on my return. Again, I is the subject, be is the verb, and there is the omission of a modal auxiliary verb. So I prayed to God. So when we express wish or pray, we use what? May for present tense, and might for past tense. So here that I might be able to see her on my return. So since it is pray expressed in the past tense, we will use what? Might. So I will be the forward, and might will be middle word, and be will be and word, means the afterword. So students, here we have just done this exercise, and I hope that you have now just got an idea how we actually need to solve the editing and omission exercises. So students, the more you practice, the more you learn. I suggest you to solve as many exercises as you can based on models, right? This will definitely help you understand this concept of models. So students, with this I come to an end with this lecture, and very soon I'll be back with a new chapter. But before I leave, before I take my leave, I just want to suggest you that if you have any query, if you want to give me any suggestion about my teaching you here, you just can write in the comment box. So your replies, your opinions will be welcomed and will be appreciated. So with this, thank you.